Hello and welcome to Board Games with Barry. I'm Barry and today I am playing Welcome to the Moon, the latest Welcome to game from Blue Cocker Games and part of their Welcome to series, which includes Welcome to the Neighbourhood and Welcome to Las Vegas. Now each of those had a number of expansion maps that you could buy or get within the collector's box. However, this game is slightly different in that it comes with 8 boards already in the box, and in real life they are dry arrays rather than bits of paper that you tear off. Each one has a slightly different requirement, or not even slightly different, a significantly different layout and objective, but all using the same core system as invented or as first made popular with the Welcome to My Neighbourhood, or the Neighbourhood. This is the first mission, which plays most like the previous versions, however is the most straightforward out of everything in the box. I am playing solo against the AI, which will come with a few additional rules, but basically on your turn you're going to deal 3 cards from the deck of 60. The 63 is AI cards, there's 3 AI cards. You're going to pick a number, you're going to pick a symbol, and then the third card you discard to the AI, who's going to get that many points. Right? Come back to that. The overriding consideration when picking a number and a symbol is that you must place that number in a legal spot within a row matching that symbol. So the 13 of robots, for example, would have to go into one of these 2 rows. The catch being that the rows must ascend numerically. So the 1 through 15 on the cards, if I was to put a 6, let's say I was to put a 6 in the middle of the purples, then this would have to be a 7 or higher, and this would have to be a 5 or lower. They do not have to be consecutive, but they do have to be higher or lower. With this particular mission, that rule applies. However, when you complete a room, you see that some of these sections and some of these rows are split into rooms. You'll get bonuses as you complete rooms, not just as you complete rows. So for example, this purple row has 3 rooms. This room would be completed by filling in both of these with numbers. Doesn't matter what the numbers are, as long as they fulfill the left to right ascending numerically order, and that will earn me the reward, which in this case is 3 rockets. I'll explain that in a moment. So whenever you complete a room, which may be a full row, you immediately get the bonuses. So the aim of this one is to launch your ship faster than the automa is able to. And to do that, we're looking at this track. So this is a track for us, where every rocket that we earn, we can scratch them off here, and as we get more and more rockets, as we do more and more system checks, we work our way towards launch. And for us to win, we must have achieved 150 points and have no sabotages, or no uncrossed off sabotages on the board. The AI is going to be giving us a few sabotages as we play, so it'll be a slightly indeterminate number of rockets that we need to achieve in order to blast off. At the same time, the AI is going to be getting rockets of their own, and the amount of rockets they're going to get is going to be based on the suit of the card that we discard. So should we discard an astronaut, they only get 1 rocket, but should we discard a planner, then they will get 4 rockets. And as it gets up to 140 here, as soon as that's there, they get their 150 and they take off, ending the game. The other end game conditions are that we blast off, that they blast off, or that we go through the deck twice. And that is, I think we can also fail if we get too many sabotages, but we will see how that goes. A few other ways of getting rockets other than completing rooms are to complete objectives. This objective requires that we complete the first 3 rows, so astronaut, astronaut, water, and we'll get 3 additional rockets. We complete the whole of the purple row, we'll get 3 additional rockets, or that we have 5 system errors circled. That will be quite hard to do in solo, but remember all of these missions can be played multiplayer, where it's more likely that you could end up with that. And that's a little bit of a catch-up mechanism, it seems there. The different suits are astronaut, water, robots, calendar, electricity or power, I guess botanics or plants. And this final symbol is wild. Any symbol can be used to fill in a space on this row. We have a few additional tricks up our sleeves. Whenever we complete a room that has this warning symbol, the sabotage symbol, we will earn a bonus, and that bonus can be then crossed off later to not give the AI a card, meaning they do not get any rockets that round. So whilst it might be a little bit further into the game by the time we have any of these, as I said, if we ever end up having to give the AI a calendar for 4 rockets, if we have a bonus, we can prevent that, buying ourselves a little bit more time so that our rocket takes off first. In addition, there are 3 cards within the deck that are marked A, B and C, which are Astra cards, and they're just for AI actions. Whenever one of them comes out, I must cross off one of my sabotage locations and mark a sabotage on my board. I must fill in all those sabotages before I am able to take off. So that is another way where we don't know exactly how long or exactly how many ships I need in order to take off. The rewards within the sections are quite straightforward. If it has a picture of a rocket with a number, that's how many rockets I gain. If it has this arrow symbol, you'll see that there are some rockets with a not filled in arrow. Earning one of these allows me to fill in that section, which will then score those rockets when that section's scored. If I were to fill in this section immediately, I would only get 2 rockets because this requires activating before I earn these 2 rockets. So the main ones to be looking for are the 4 and 4, and then there's a 3 and 3 before getting the 2 and 2 and 2. And there's various places to get those. The last reward type is an X. An X allows you to place it anywhere in any of the rooms, and it effectively lets you fill in a number without filling in a number. So if we go back to my example of this being a 6, if I had an X here, this could still be a 7 because the X doesn't count as a number, but it still looks to the next number to the left or right in order to determine ascending numeracy. Hopefully that makes sense. But the game itself is quite straightforward. We're going to be picking numbers and putting them in rows and hopefully earning bonuses and points. Now, whilst the level 1 AI is incredibly beatable on any other map, it can put up a good game, a good fight for this first mission. And I actually think the second adventure, the second mission, is one of the more complicated ones to think through. So the learning curve of this game, if you had it in real life, is a little tricky, and I don't think the rules on Board Game Arena do a particularly good job. So that is why I am going to play through it, and hopefully it'll all make sense to you. So I'm going to pick... I don't want to give the AI this. So either I pick... And none of these numbers are particularly high, so I'd just be guessing in the middle. So I think I'm going to pick the 13 of... Now, the robots and the plants both give the AI 2 rocket ships. So you'll see how this works in a minute. But I'm going to do the 13 of rockets. And because these are only 5 wide, I think getting a 13 on the end is not too bad. Remember, the numbers only go 1 to 15. So I discarded the plant card. And if you're particularly good at tracking, you'll know what cards are not on it, right? So I've just discarded the 9 of plants. That card is now gone. I won't see that again. My second time through the deck is through a reduced deck of 43 cards, including the AI's ones. So I have to be considerate of what I am putting away, because I'll never get those again. And if I was relying on getting plants and I don't see those cards the second time through the deck, that is a problem. So I do want to give the AI this astronaut. So maybe I do the well, I want to complete the purple row. There's no huge advantage in completing these. The wild row is only, because it gives me an X every time I fill in 2, it's effectively only 4 wide. So that could be a strategy to go for, but I think I will do the, I think I'm going to do the 7 of plants. So if I was to put a 7 here, 6, 5, 4, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I think the 7 goes here. This is a safe one to fill in. It's 3 rockets without any problems. So now I can do the 10 of robots, or the 10 of plants, the 6 of calendars, the 8 of calendars, the 6 of plants, the 8 of robots. Well, I still don't want to give the AI this one because them getting 4 rockets rushes them towards the end. So if I did a 10, if I did 10 of robots, 987, 654, 321. So that's a reasonable spread to complete the row of robots. So again, I want to give the AI this card because it's not great for me. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if I did that 11, that'd be 12, 13, 14, 15. So that seems fairly reasonable to put it here. Now you see, I don't have to do the numbers consecutively, and I don't have to place them in a consecutive order. But they do, I can only put an 8, a 9, or a 10 in here because that is higher than the 7 and lower than the 11. Now there's no requirements that I get any astronauts this game, but if I give them all away, I'm somewhat giving up on this objective. However, I can always fill these in with crosses if it comes to it. Still, I don't really want to give an electricity away. So if I did the 4 here, 6, 5. So if I did the 4 here, I would have to get 5 and 6 in here or place a cross, but that's okay. And then 3, 2, 1 in those bottom 2 spaces. So this is a little tricky to fill in. This is the longest row. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the longest row by at least a couple. But it is one of the objectives, so I'm just trying to fill it in. So if I did the 10 here, that's going to let me fill that in there. And that's going to cross off my first 3 rockets, and I'm on my way. You'll notice that the AI is doing significantly better. So now I can't do, there's nothing I can place on the power row, so I'm not doing that. The 8 of water might be a good shout because I do want to fill this in at some point. The 6 of water might also not be so bad. Get me a sabotage. Sure. Now I'm giving away a lot of these astronauts because they're worth very few rockets to the computer, but that may come back and bite me later. Right, now both of these are pretty good. The 9 of water and the 9 of robots are both pretty good. If I put 9 of water there, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that's pretty good at the top. I think I will do that. You'll notice I'm not filling in any rooms, like I'm not specifically hammering a room. I want to get the activation on these rockets before I complete them. So I don't want to give the computer this one. But that does give me this. So I guess the 3 of power. So that gives me 2 and 1 on that side, but I do need 5 and 6 on this side, so I have to watch out for that quite closely. I could do the 14 of robots here, but that would give the computer one of these. And I'm still a little unwilling to do that. So what if I did the 4 of robots, and instead 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess I need another 1, 2, 3 there. What I also don't want to do is leave myself only needing low numbers or only needing high numbers. Sure, so if I did the 12 of calendars here, that seems pretty decent. Again, if you're a better player than me and you're paying more attention to what you're getting rid of, I'm just not getting rid of lightning or water or calendars. So I could do the 6 of robots here. So this completes this room. I get another 3 rockets, but I now also get across. Now because I'm working towards, because this is an objective, I think I can maybe try and fill this in with crosses for the most part. I might have to put an astronaut in just to keep one in the deck. Okay, let's do this. So this is the 1 of robots. I fill that in. So this is going to give me... So I'm going to activate an inactive rocket bonus. So these are the 2 biggest ones. I think I'll fill this in. And then I'm going to put another X here, because if I get this, I'll get another inactive rocket and another X. So it sort of chains into combos. Now it's not quite as combo-y as, say, Ganshun Clever. Although you can set it up for like a big turn. But there's no huge advantage necessarily in doing so. So that doesn't do anything. So I can't get any more power on this turn. So now I'm going to have to do a... I'm going to have to do a plant, which is going to give them 3 rockets. Sure. Do I go this side? I think I might. Again, I'm looking for that X. There's no objectives tied to doing plants, but it's not the worst. So this is the first Astra card. There's an A, B, and C in the deck, and what I have to do is decide which of these I'm not getting. So probably not getting that until too late in the day. So I cross one of those off. I circle this. This now has to be filled in before I can take off. So the 1 of robots. In fact, the 1 of robots is probably the best shout. Keeps the power in, and that whole row's now open still. So B and C come out, so I now have to cross out some other sabotage effects. So I'm probably not getting that. And I'm probably, I mean, I was pretty close to getting some of these, but I'm probably not getting that. So I need another 2 of those to come out in order to fulfill this. Whether it's worth it is debatable. So the 11 of water isn't bad. But so is the 13 of power. But that would give the computer a power card. I think I might just have to... I really want this row filled in. It's worth, 10 points, or 10 rockets, I should say, in total. To keep... Oh, this is tricky. The 3 of water. Yeah, go on then. So do this. So now I get another 2 rockets. I cross that out, and that gives me my first bonus. So at some point I can choose to not give the AI a card. I doubt I can get enough bonuses to make it worth keeping. If I can get 3 of them, I can effectively get another go the second time through the cards, but I don't think it's worth it necessarily. So, yeah, can't do any of that. So 10 of water. So that gives me the most options here, but I want to fill that in before I score it, because that'll be 6 rockets. So, where can I get a filled in thing? Here, but that's no good. Where else can I get one? One at the top, fine. So I can't do water, so I'm going to have to do plants. So I might as well do the highest value plant. Put you there. Again, I want to fill that in. Actually, you know what? Restart that. I'm going to do the 6 of plants. I'm going to do you here because I want to fill this in. And I don't... I don't want to give you water, so I'm going to use my solo bonus so they don't get a card this turn, which is the best way of doing that, arguably. So I can fill this out now, so I think I have to, even though I'm now giving them... No, I think I got a plan ahead. I think getting that would have been good, because I could have chained it into this, which could have chained into more things, but I'll let it go. So now, I don't necessarily need the astronauts. The 6 of 6. I do want to complete this row. Like, there's a lot of rocket ships here. So that was my first time through the deck. 20 cards have been removed, the 20 cards that I gave to the AI. Actually, I think spending your bonus, you still have to discard a card. So I was a little off on my expectations there. 9, 10. Yeah, okay, fine. 9, 10, 11. 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, fine. Yeah, this isn't great. The 6 of this. Don't know if I'm getting this robot roll. I don't necessarily need this robot roll. I think I'll leave that to the end. 5 of plants. Gives me 2 rockets and lets me fill in. This is the most pressing concern, I think. This one's not far behind. So now I could do the 14 of water, for example, and get 6 rockets. Nice. Okay. None of these are great. 4. Yeah, okay, fine. So the 4 of these, let's do that. So I definitely want to fill this in before I complete this last one. But the only way to get that is by filling in here, or potentially this. So I think I might do that. So I were to do the 3 of astronauts. So because those are both X's, they're effectively zeros. So I want to activate an inactive rocket, which is this one. And then I'll get to write an X. So I can just... I don't think I'm getting through the... I don't think I'm getting through this row, right? So take this. I'm going to chain... I probably should have taken this, to be honest. But we'll see how it goes. I can activate an inactive rocket. What one's most likely? I mean, I want that, but I'm not going to get 4 robots in 28 goes, am I? Not 28 goes, in 7 goes. Not when I need 2 here, so it'll be within 5 goes. So I'm not getting you. I guess I'm going to try for this, for the bonus in here. So that'll be the best advantage. I will fill in. I might as well just combo this, because that's going to give me a bonus, and I'll get to fill in 1 here. Doesn't matter where it goes, really. And then I will just give the computer the plant, because it's only 2 for them. Now you see they're getting pretty close, so I will want to use my bonus at some point. Oh no, mate, I want the 5 of lightnings. All of these are quite bad for me. Maybe I can fill in one of these though. What if I did? Yeah, what if I did the 5 of water, and then just used that there? So this will get me 2 rockets, and it will work me closer to getting this one. You may have the robots. That's only 2 rockets for you. Right. So the B. Yes, I don't think this is possible in solo. because the second activation of... I think the second activation should trigger. I think it's actually a bug in the game. The rules, as written in the rulebook, state that every time it comes up, you cross off one and circle it. So I was kind of hoping for that, but we'll see. 10, nope. 6, nope. So I do this and this. So that's going to give me that. So I get 2 jokers, 2 rockets, and I cross off this. Actually, I should have crossed off that, shouldn't I? Let's undo that last step. So let's cross off this, because that's 8 rockets, which may be pretty close to win. So I need to cross these off. So I do... I mean, maybe I just fill in these to try and get this last one. So that's worth 3 to them, so we'll use a solo bonus. This is pretty terrible, but I'm going to do here. So if I do the 9 of this, yeah, I think I just have to fill in these to complete the rounds, but I should be able to win. So the 10 of you fills in this. That's going to give me another couple of rockets, which crosses off those 2. This is going to give me 8 rockets. With 2 bonuses. There's no real... you don't get any extra points for bonuses at the end. I can accomplish this mission. So I've totally filled in the board there. Crossing those off gets rid of the negative points. A little hard to see, but that's a this many points minus this points plus any ones along the top. I think I've broken the game by getting too many rockets. I think that is also a bug. Try reloading. Yes, done. Victory. Huzzah! So slightly broke it there by getting a bit too many as a combo on that last turn. But that is the very basics of the game. So the full game comes with a campaign, and the campaign will talk you through, depending whether you win or lose, the difficulty of the automa that you play. If you're playing solo, you can play the campaign multiplayer. The setup of the subsequent missions, so depending on how well you do, the different objectives that come out, and maybe some additional requirements as needed. You can record all your scores on the back. The game comes with 8 maps, as I mentioned, so you can see some of the other ones here. I will do missions 2 and 3, so you can get an idea for how the game plays proper, because this is very much like the original games and not like the main missions on Welcome to the Moon. Board Game Arena will suggest that you only play this if you're a beginner. However, I think there's still some fun to be had in here. Had I played a slightly more difficult bot, I may well have lost. There was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 10, 11. 11 points in it. That is the difference between a couple of astronauts and a couple of calendars. And so the values for the automa vary depending on how difficult it is. And that is the game. So I will play the next 2 adventures. You can see them on the channel. But until then, this is Barry signing off.